When the millennium happened, Hurst found itself turning 50 years young, and with the growth of Bell, the DFW Airport, Northeast Mall, and the Metroplex in general, Hurst's population expanded rapidly. The realities of being landlocked were also kicking in. Hurst was out of land for new development. So the focus became revitalization and redevelopment. With that came both the refurbishing and remodeling of several city facilities and the development and construction of new facilities and parks. Challenges abounded, but Hurst's leadership and city councils demonstrated great wisdom and proved they were up to the task of transforming Hurst.
Hurst was 70% residential, 30% commercial. We were the first city to grow in this area. We were the big city, big sister of the three cities, Bedford, Euless, and Hurst. So we developed first. We had the most population at the time, and we needed to look at other opportunities in the redevelopment area. Knowing that we were pretty much landlocked, and we had to, being landlocked, we had to go ahead and look at redevelopment. That is where we placed all of our emphasis at that point in time. And one of the biggest parts of it were making sure that the retail corridors looked like they belonged, looked like they weren't dilapidated. So we needed to go ahead and improve our community inspection program. After we did that, we decided we'd go ahead and look at all of our facilities, our current facilities. We looked at our fire stations, police stations, city hall, everything. And we said we need to put a plan together to revamp everything, to modernize everything, because all of our facilities, some of them were back in the 50s.
Me and my staff decided to do those things that would make city a place that you would like to live in. And of course, we had city council saying the same thing, and we had all of the boards and commissions saying the same thing. So we had a good support. We always had this philosophy that we would pay attention to detail. We would definitely be professional in everything we do. We would always have some vision or strategic plan on what we would do, and we would always look beyond just what we were doing and how it would impact the community in the future.
Where are we going to be in 10, 15, 20 years down the road? So that is kind of where I, as city manager, decided that we needed to look at a complete transformation of our city. We needed to transform our city government, we needed to transform our organization, and we needed to transform our community. And so we came up with the not unique moniker of Transforming Hurst.
We spent a lot of time and money on upgrading all the parks, and we have redone all those over the years to make sure they're safe for the kids to participate in.
We put up all of the playgrounds, and there were like 17 playgrounds on a rotational basis to be replaced every 10 years, so that every year a new playground was replaced.
And then we also approved in Southhurst Community Park, where we now put soccer fields, baseball fields.
One of the unique things we did with the half-cent sales tax in 1992 to 94, we developed a 10-year plan. The first part of that plan was to replace the two concrete boxes that we had at Central and Chisholm, which were the old swimming pools, traditional swimming pools, nothing more than a concrete box with a diving board. So we decided to do something unique, that we wanted to build an aquatic center. We spent a good 9 months developing these designs, these plans, sold them through the board to the city council, city management, and then we built them. And thousands of people came. We operated the tennis center at the same time. Like everything else, it was sort of haphazard at best. So we had the funding to redo the tennis center. We rebuilt the tennis center, rebuilt a tennis center pro shop, brought on people that knew what they were doing, and turned that around completely. So that became one of the top tennis centers in the area. We did a major improvement to the recreation center. We had a small gym and some classrooms and a real small fitness center. And I to this day, I think that $5 million project only succeeded is because we could put the senior banquet in the two halls. And we brought in some really good people, started a program for adults and children so that all those classrooms down there were used for everything from aerobics to spin to yoga to ceramics at that time, dance, judo. I mean, things for the whole community. And then we had the basketball courts. We developed a real nice basketball league out of that.
A tennis court, swimming pool, everything that was in relationship to that. At the same time, we decided, well, if we have a swimming facility, aquatic center in Southhurst, we need an aquatic center up in Northhurst at Chisholm Park. So we also built the Chisholm Park Aquatic Center at the time. So those are the types of things we're working through as staff. We need to move. We need to get going. And we had funding through sales tax and through the 4B money that was coming in, both regular sales tax and 4B economic development money. So we used a lot of those monies to go ahead and revamp every facility in Hearst.
20 years later, before I retired, we rebuilt them again. We built Central into a modern aquatic center, and then we rebuilt Chisholm into a more modern aquatic center. And I always use with my staff the analogy of a cake. And it's very clear to us that the cake, it's infrastructure, it's public works, it's the water and the wastewater and the roads and the channels. And it's basic, that's the cake. And then you have fire to make sure that we don't burn it down, and that they're prevented or make sure the candles don't go awry. And then you have police protecting it. Okay, that's understandable. And then you have finance helping us pay for it. How do we get these things done? And now the other divisions, that come into play, making sure that economic development has the funds there for us to be able to keep adding to this cake or providing the cake. But we were the icing on the cake. We provided that to this community. We made this, I think, a desirable place to live, to raise your family, to live, maybe to work or to work close by, but to live in Hearst.
Alan Heindel was instrumental for upgrading a lot of our events. We had like a small Easter egg hunt. We had tree planting, Arbor Day types of things. We had like a hot dog event at our old pool for 4th of July, that type of thing. But when we went through this transformation redevelopment, when we built the athletic complex down there with soccer fields and baseball fields and all the amenities down there, it provided an opportunity to upgrade everything we were doing.
For the seniors, the Christmas dinner that Mr. Butler started, John Butler started, and we have about 800, 900 seniors that we feed Christmas dinner to, free of charge. The Christmas tree lighting has turned into a big community event. I don't know, maybe as many as 15, 20,000 show out.
Thousands would show up. Again, we'd fire fireworks off. We'd have train rides. We'd have a marketplace. We'd have a snow hill because it was one of those things that if we got the chance or the opportunity to do something, we not only did it, but we did it better than you could. And every year we would elaborate on it.
Above and beyond. I mean, Hearst, in anything they do, whether it's the Easter egg hunt or the tree lighting, the senior banquet, Stars and Stripes. I mean, people come from all over.
We started with 10,000 people, and we're up to 35,000 people in about 8 years. Things like that are constantly evolving.
The pools allowed us to upgrade our events, splash days, things of that nature. 4th of July down at the athletic complex, and then Christmas here. We just didn't have anywhere to have that prior to the transformation of our city. And it allowed us to go to the next level. There's one thing I could always do with Alan Heindel. I could say, Alan, go do this event. Well, it was going to be done 150%. I mean, he would make it just the best event ever. And Hearst was always known, has been known, for the quality of events, quality of the public events we have. So we decided at the time to go ahead and look at all of our facilities, do an inventory. So we actually went ahead and built a new animal shelter.
We went from about 2,000 square feet to 16,000 to absolutely state-of-the-art, a lot of amenities, the best dog park in Tarrant County.
Revamped the service center, and then also revamped Fire Station 1 on Precinct Line Road. Built a brand new fire station at Heritage Village on Pipeline Road. And at the same time, we're sitting there going, hey, we also need to revamp our library. So we went through a complete revamp of the library, expansion, renovation, new roof, the whole works.
By the second expansion, which was the meeting room, and the meeting room actually added 2 rooms, big children's room on the east side, and then we fully expanded the meeting room so that we could have larger programs. Masterworks was selling out, literally. It was standing room only, and now we had room to put more people in for Masterworks.
In 2013, Jesse Laux became our librarian, and he started a couple of new programs like HEB Reads.
The library is one of the top libraries in this area and one of the top libraries in the nation. It's because of Jesse Laux, and it was all due to the staff and due to Alan being parked right there at the library.
The 3 cities didn't have a way to really get together and have a big get-together area.
What about if we just do a meeting facility up here? Small meeting facility, maybe 15,000 square feet, just do something like that. We started small and ended up big. And we're saying if we're going to build this facility, we want to make it unique to this area. We don't want to have any other facility that is going to be looking like our conference center. And it really made this facility a step above any other facility in HEB, and even to the point at the time of South Lake. We added on a parking garage later. Right before I retired, finished the hotel, the Hilton Garden Inn, which is adjacent to this facility, to make sure that if we had large weddings or large conferences, they would have a place to stay.
The bonds for paying for the construction are paid for out of half-cents economic development sales tax and hotel motel tax. We were already collecting the money for the economic development sales tax. So we did not have to raise tax 1 penny for our citizens to get this fine facility.
Another facility we needed to do at the time was our police department. Our police department was in disarray. It was located right next to City Hall, just aged out. So we ended up purchasing a piece of property up here where our current conference center is located, and it was a vacant, about a 4-acre piece of property, and thinking at some point in time we may move City Hall up there. So we went through a complete planning study of Hurstown Center, nodal development.
And we did a bond election, which the citizens passed to build a expansion to the building. We had looked at other locations, and it was determined that it would be better to stay where we were. So we were able to just build, we'll call the tower, 4-story tower, connected to the older building, and expand it.
So we went ahead and built the police and jail facility, beautiful facility, and it was finished just about the time I also retired.
And one of the things that I do know is that we did under my watch is there was a lot more involvement with mental health. Mental health, when I first started, you might have someone in a mental health crisis once a month. So we went through the whole department, everyone's trained, and the program that we were doing with the mental retardation, MHMR, was doing so well, and I talked about it at different meetings, other cities started doing it. And so Hearst, Euless, and Bedford, we decided, okay, we're going to hire our own person to be full-time just for our 3 cities. It's won awards from state level and national level, IACP, International Association of Chiefs of Police, from the outreach programs that we've done.
So the Nodal Development Hurstown Center started out as a little meeting facility, ended up in a major conference center and a beautiful police building along with renovations at City Hall and the Public Works building, plus the additional hotels. And as city manager, I'm sitting there going, well, if we're building these wonderful facilities, why don't we do nodal development? Understanding what these nodes are, understanding how they can be redeveloped, we had to do some land banking. The only way we could do this was to purchase property. So we purchased a piece of property by the rec center, and then we purchased property at Heritage Village where the fire station had just been built, and we were under construction of the new senior center there. We had a joint senior center with the city of Bedford at the Bedford Boys Ranch, and we were getting a lot of feedback that we need our own from the community, and let's put it in a place where it makes sense, where a lot of our seniors are. And so we went ahead and built a senior living facility. And I said, God, this is great. We've got a senior living community. We got a senior center. We got a fire station for the medical needs. What else do we need? We're sitting there brainstorming. And what about a heritage park? What about a park that allows us to celebrate our heritage as a city? So we went ahead, built a beautiful fountain, and built a outside pavilion area where performers could come in and perform for the community. The seniors could come out and sit down with their lawn chair and just have fun. Just a nice, fun place. The transformation of all of our city was not just bang, bang, bang. It was all happening together. So we were transforming the city council. We're transforming our economic development and our city infrastructure. I had some thoughts about what I wanted to do organizationally. So I decided, well, we need to make sure that every one of our employees gets training. We need to make sure that they have the best training available to support our customer service programs, because that's the business we're in, is serving our customers and being customer service friendly. So I said, we're going to go ahead and have an annual event, a 3-day conference, in which we are going to train, we being our department directors and a training team that was established, some of our top talent, young talent within the organization were going to be our trainers. And they would come in and train all of our employees on our code of ideals and on our culture. And at that time, I was implementing what I called a code of ideals. It was based on customer service, based on dedication, responsibility. There are many, many tenets that go into what that code of ideals was. That was put together by myself and a team, customer service team, and a consultant to make sure that we had the best customer service possible, both internal and external. So the 3-day conference was an opportunity to transform our organization, transform it into a customer-friendly, customer-driven organization. So the conference, we had our trainers, which were developed internally, not externally, internally trained, to train all of our employees, not just a certain segment of employees, not our directors, not our supervisors, everybody. The employees really bought into this. They loved it.
We had engaged boards. We had the Park and Recreation Board, we had the Library Board, we had the Senior Advisory Board, and we had the Historical Commission. And these were citizens that were appointed by the city council, so they're either friends or neighbors or acquaintances of the council, and they kept us on our toes. They met every month, and we would prepare presentations for them every month of everything that we did that they would have to recognize or recommend to the city council. And these people are all good people. I mean, some of the names, if I could say, there was Alan Neese and Rod Robertson and Betty Whiteside and Carl Jones. We had Charles Swearingen, Kathy Thompson, I think Kathy Brotherton now. These people, I mean, I could go on and on. Bob Hampton, I hate to leave somebody out, but there'd be 70 names on the list. We're all engaged in helping us do our job.
The senior center apartments right next door, 2 beautiful fire stations, a library that is, we think second to none, a Justice Center, a new City Hall, a Hearst Conference Center, which is just phenomenal. It's just a beautiful, beautiful building. Maybe that's why people, when they come in here, they buy us so quickly, because we have so many amenities. Widening of roads, better roads. So I look at all the things that have happened while I've been mayor. It's been pretty big.
When you look at City Hall, when you look at the conference center, they looked and they look out in this area and they see, whenever we want to do some big event, we have to go to Fort Worth. And they said, that's not right. So they developed a conference center. Hotels pop up around it. Now they have a hotel that's connected to it. They have the parks and the big softball parks and the water park down by the recreation center. remember, that's right across the canal from the church, and it used to be a softball field. And now it's a tennis court, a water park, and a recreational facility. It's the Senior Citizen Center. It's, you know, it's revitalizing Pipeline, it's revitalizing Highway 10. It's knowing that we've got to look into the future. We can't make it happen overnight, so we got to be patient and we got to stay the course.
When we do things first class. We just approach things knowing that we want to do the best we can for our citizens.